paint correction, all right? Let's just say this is the surface of your car, and these are two different surfaces, right? So this is a surface and this is a surface. And what you see when you see swirl marks and scratches and things of that nature is light is coming in and being reflected out, right? And that's how you see the scratch or the swirl or whatever it is you're talking about. So the idea behind the two different schools of thought behind a polish and a glaze. Polish is supposed to physically remove the imperfection, where a glaze will kind of fill it in. So let's just say our 367 ice will physically remove the paint imperfection, so that eventually you get a much more level field, and therefore the light that comes in gets refracted outwards and it doesn't come back, and therefore you don't see that scratch or swirl marks and whatnot. So a polish will physically remove that imperfection. Now, the way a glaze is supposed to work, a glaze is going to do the same thing, but instead of physically removing the clear coat of the vehicle surface, it's going to fill it in. Now we have the 403 and the 404 are polishing glazes, so they're going to do a little bit of removal, not a terrible amount of removal, but for the most part, those acrylics are going to fill in that gap. So the light still is going to hit and then be refracted out and not bounce back, and so you won't be able to see it. So it's going to remove a little bit of the imperfections, but for the most part, it's going to preserve the clear coat and fill it in. And people are like, I don't want fillers and so on and so forth. Well, because the 403 and the 404, the main active ingredient are acrylics. The acrylics, when they're given the proper amount of time to cure fully, will take on the properties of a clear coat. A clear coat is a paint, an acrylic is a paint. So if you give it that full 36 hours to cure, it is going to mimic very, very, very closely your original clear coat. So yes, it's a filler, but it's a super duper filler. And that's why you say, when you're applying ceramic coats and things of that nature, you don't want anything to come in between the clear coat and the ceramic coat, so polishes are better. But in the case of 403 and 404, if you allow it to cure fully and then use a very light IPA to wipe it down, you should be able to get the exact same results as using a polish to physically remove the clear coat. Again, two schools of thoughts. Some people want to keep the clear coat as intact as humanly possible. Other guys want to physically remove so that there's no chance that you're ever going to see any kind of paint imperfection, but at the same time you're going to wear down your clear coat. So those are the two big differences.